I load into Dying Light the Beast. They tell me to drink water, which I do. I spawn in, and fortunately for this hydrated guy, all of the zombies are locked away in cells. As I observe these creatures living their lives, I can't help but think that the only thing that separates us from them is the fact that when I smash my head against the wall, I stop before it bleeds. Out of respect to the cleaning staff. We head outside and the sun sears our retinas as we set off on a brisk jog through the evergreen pine forest. As I approach a quaint village, a zombie appears. Fortunately, zombies have the exact same weakness as children, a lead pipe to the skull. Thank you, Techland, for sponsoring the video. Dying Light the Beast is available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation now. Excited to explore the gorgeous Swiss countryside, I begin gracefully descending the mountain. As I leap, I ask you, how did the man remove the Swiss Army knife from his tight cheeks? Let me know in the comments, it's starting to get pretty uncomfortable. I head into a manor with the goal of setting up a home. I hop over the fence and a dangerously underweight zombie squares up to me. Even the undead have body positivity issues, I guess. After this fella kills a human, he doesn't eat it, he looks at his reflection and weeps. My weapon breaks and I now have to use my fists. This proves to be by far the most satisfying yet inefficient way to get the job done. There's something enriching about punching vulnerable things. The doors are locked, so I have to find another way in. I achieve this goal in a normal amount of time and slide into my new home. Imagine my surprise when it's full of zombies who have to be some of the worst house guests I've ever hosted. I get to cleaning out the courtyard, but then I'm filled with an immense anger and begin ripping zombies limb from limb. This is my girlfriend when I use her tiny expensive moisturizer to moisturize my face. God forbid a man takes his skincare seriously. These zombies are going to start boarding up their windows to keep me out. I radio that the place is clear and the homies move in. I introduce myself to this lass, but as I take a gander at her laptop screen, it seems she's preparing charts. Cool. I'll go back out there and continue punching the dead to death with my bare hands while you finish your thesis. Glad to see she's got good posture, as I'd hate for her to strain that back she is carrying us on. She gives me a machete and tells me to save the people trapped at the town hall. Didn't even print me off one of her charts for a theoretical advantage. I decide to research the zombies myself, and so I leap over to a branch. It's at this moment I realise I have discovered the cure to the virus: upper body strength. As I hang and the zombies fall, I wonder to myself, why does my girlfriend get expensive little moisturizers, yet I have a giant bottle of cheap stuff? I might as well rub asbestos paste on my skin every morning. I head over to the trailer park and encounter another human. He fires arrows at me, which I typically hate, and so I use my machete to slice him up. His friend surrenders, which was a wise-fold idiot. I, however, thought he was taking up an offensive, cowering raised hand position. He runs in fear upon realizing I'm not a big prisoner taker. I follow, and after a while it feels like a walking tour, which I'm sure this greedy little militant will expect us to tip for. He leads me to a zombie-filled street, which is typical Swiss behaviour. I do have one thing in common with the Swiss: neither of us helped kill Hitler. I can't fight them all, so I climb to the rooftops as I remember parkour is my way to success. Back when I was a kid, I was hopping around from building to building doing the odd flip. Some guy came over to me and said, "Hey, what are you doing, champ?" I looked at my surroundings and I was in a park, so I said parkour, and that's how the name came about. God forbid I get a shred of recognition. I search for the poor souls trapped in the town hall. Heavens knows they need Jesus. Don't we all? I commandeer a vehicle and head towards the crisis as I pretend these little biters are cyclists who refuse to use the footpath my tax dollars paid for. Although in Switzerland they don't really have tax, just guilt from not mobilising their military in the 1940s. We arrive and night falls suddenly. My Swiss Kentucky tour quickly turns into a horror movie. I switch on the light in my room, lower the game volume, smash a Barocca and put a pair of thick socks on as I fearlessly continue my search for the town hall. I begin to cry as I hear zombies out there being vocal, and I suddenly feel very lost in the woods. It's pitch black, terrifying, but fortunately there's a 9-foot tall giant who appears to have removed his skin and knows his way around a gym. Turns out he was not here to make friends with me, as he has friends of his own. They don't invite me to eat a middle-aged man with them or hit a massive leg day. No, they make it very clear I'm not welcome in their precious little friendship group. Once these dodgy malakas start chasing you, you have little chance. I'm terrified and scarred, but fortunately I spawn back in the woods at night. This is arguably the worst possible thing that could have happened. Even though I could defeat those guys, I choose to head back to my room. I look for a place to sleep until morning and imagine my surprise when I'm assigned an old couch with a child's sleeping bag. No, that's fine, it's an apocalypse, all the beds and orthopedic mattresses probably got eaten. No. Imagine my further surprise when I spot cute cozy bedrooms with mattresses, desks, and lecterns. Surely I've earned a lectern. This sets a new trajectory for my travels. I need to secure an appropriate place to sleep. This does leave me with my first ethical dilemma. Do I save the townsfolk from the giant horde tearing down their fortifications, or take a drive through the countryside? Those old wooden Swiss doors were typically made of a dense chestnut hardwood. My drive is relaxing right up until I reach the end of a long road and my car breaks down. Stuck in the woods with no weapons and no fuel for my whip. It's like the universe is telling me to follow up my country drive with a mentally enriching hike. Much like when a salmon uses the Earth's magnetic field to navigate thousands of miles through the Atlantic Ocean to swim back to the exact stream they were born in, I find a stream. Some people use drugs to cope. I use fresh water and drugs. I search for an appropriate place to sleep, not with binoculars, not with a map, but with parkour. I stumble upon an old inn some soldiers are using as a base. I storm the compound, ready to try and get a proper squiz at their eyelids to see if they're getting 8 hours. The plan was not well thought out. I respawn and it's night now. I'm at the town hall positioned to save everyone. My heart wasn't in it when it was sunny. As far as I'm concerned, they're already dead. Too scared to do anything else, I sit on the safety of my roof observing these zombies known as volatiles so I can study my enemy. I learn that these dangerous infected killing machines are smarter, more fierce, and importantly are lucky I'm not down there right now or I'd give them a left-right good night. In real life, I've been in over 35 street fights, and I won 40 of them. All of a sudden, the creatures flee because they fear my aura. Also, the UV of the sun burns their skin. When I forget to apply the SPF 50+, you don't see me retreating into dark tunnels. The clock is ticking. Can I find a cozy bed before these monsters find sun hats? I head back to the bar, ready to take what is mine, but this time tactically. I utilize an elevated highway to gain a vantage spot, which also gives me a stunning view of the Swiss town. Say what you will about friend zoning everyone in World War II, but it really preserved the architecture. I prepare to infiltrate the base. I sneak in and snap the neck of somebody's son. I work my way through the soldiers, ensuring not to be seen. I take down a man with a gun and then use it to finish off the last few soldiers with ease. This is my moment as I get excited to move into my rustic, chic, vintage-inspired renovated pub. I would rather die of sleep deprivation than steal a 15-minute nap on this soiled pub booth seat. I set off again and immediately use the last of my bullets to mow down some soldiers fighting zombies in the hope the undead will side with me. This doesn't work as I discover zombies do not understand the core concept of diplomacy. I realise water is my only friend, and so I swim in search of some kind of modern apartment, ideally with floor-to-ceiling windows, a massive supply of food, and a California king bed that has ergonomic pillows and a weighted blanket. No luck, so I swim back to my original home. My flatmate has decided that my chronic back pain-inducing bedroom is also now her office. The desk faces my couch so she can watch me sleep. In her defense, this giant Swiss chalet only has a million other suitable office rooms. If a zombie infection broke out and one of my mates opened his MacBook and started analysing statistical data instead of gathering canned beans, I would be salty. Hey bro, you go out there and kill the 50 undead in the area, try and get some food and water, and save the townsfolk before dark. I'll stay here to determine if the line on my graph should be a royal blue or a striking magenta. Academics are idiots. I swing my sledgehammer and finally take down the horde. I head inside the town hall and attempt to speak to the survivors, but no response. Kind of immature, but at least I find a handgun. At a glance, it would appear I'm a touch late as the townsfolk are currently being eaten. On one level it's chilling, but on another level I'm happy to see the body positivity issues aren't a cultural-wide thing, it was just that one twink earlier. I smash a sports drink and then this guy jumps from above looking fierce. I unload my pistol and it does nothing, which isn't great as that was all of my bullets. This monster is probably what killed those soldiers, but it's hard to be sure. It might have been brain aneurysms. Using the statue and my trusty sledgehammer, I do God's work and slay the beast. I then harvest the blood from this creature and inject it into my own skin, which seems dangerous. What if this thing has HIV? I open the door and my character says the best thing possible, showing a real lack of empathy.
Geez, not too trusting, are we?
Bro, I think they're likely not trusting because a giant bear zombie dismembered a military unit in the courtyard outside 5 minutes ago. I love that we're trying to gaslight them into thinking they have trust issues. These guys work fast, they've already bagged the bodies. I would personally move all the corpses outside due to the undead coming back to life, but at least this guy isn't letting that seemingly rational fear get in the way of his carpentry. This scene here makes me a bit uncomfortable. I don't know if I morally agree with how this is playing out. You don't rub blood on a rug, you dab it. Dabbing is better because it lifts the stain without spreading it, while rubbing pushes it deeper into the carpet fibers. Now that I think about it, why are we cleaning rugs when there are grafts to make? I talk to this guy who assigns jobs. He tells me I need to go and slay an even scarier monster. Great. I begin my investigation and it's clear the big guy came through here. I effortlessly descend and begin murdering everyone in the vicinity with my now modified machete. I saved the townsfolk from a monster, now I must save them from an even scarier monster. I speak to the survivors, but again no response. I wonder if this guy was a paraplegic before the outbreak. My search leads me underground, which is typical. Down here I find a bunch of zombies asleep. Everyone in Switzerland is sleeping like a baby but me. I decide to kill them with kindness, and by kindness I mean a frag grenade. I immediately regret the decision as they swarm me. As they can't reach me, this results in an effective XP farm. It's thirsty work, but I get the job done. I hear a scream and don't wet myself. Like you guys could even check. Anyway, it's the terms and conditions fault for making me drink so much water. I find the big fella smashing his head against the wall. He doesn't let it bleed though, so you know he's an empath. I get right in there and start slashing him with my machete. Towards the end of the fight, he gets all limpy and half dead. It's gross. Not blood and gore gross, it's just El Aura, don't die during a fight, it's tacky. The 9-foot-tall sunscreen merchants show up and chase me from the tunnels. It's terrifying, but I reach the sun and abruptly stop the moment I feel it. I mean the moment. This deters them, but we cut it awfully fine. I would have at least walked out to here just to give myself some wiggle room. Imagine if there was a cloud. I realize I've become distracted saving the world, so I get back to my truck and hit the road. It's time to find a mattress. I need to explore more of Switzerland, so I set off, giving myself a tour. I swim, I climb, I light zombies with no arms on fire, and finally I stumble across an outpost. The rain pours as if to tell me, Pelly, you're home. I use the last of my pistol ammo to clear out the squatters. This little thing has a mattress, privacy, sure the windows are open and the rain is horizontal, but any girl I bring back here will be wet anyway. Hit like if you enjoyed, I love you.